Okay, so patch that is not in yet. Upcoming changes and improvements is what we're seeing here. Path of Exile 2 has been live for just over a week. We've addressed some feedback already and are working on more fixes for key pain points as an upcoming patch. Full patch notes are coming soon, but check out some of the more significant changes below. This is going to be very interesting. So I do apologize for my fatigue right now. Sleep deprivation is hitting me pretty damn hard, and I look like a fucking clown in this mustache. But here we go. Gameplay features. Like we mentioned last week, we'll be adding the capacity to fast travel between checkpoints within area. Nice. As well as adding many more checkpoints to areas. Generally at all entrances and exits to areas, meaning if you find these first, you'll be able to instantly travel to them, to continue exploring. I think this is great, actually. Less backtracking when you miss something, especially in the Trader's Passage. But also be making passive point respecking cheaper, especially at higher levels. Thank you. And a relatively aggressive curve, getting more expensive at the character level. We flatten that curve so it doesn't exponentially grow as much. This should generally result in approximately 40 to 50% less gold cost for respecking between the start and middle of endgame progression. Trial of the Sekhemas. Sanctum. Players will find Trial of Sekhemas particularly frustrating in close range, as we reworked how honor damage scales when in close range, as well as fixing an important bug that was causing players to take far too much honor damage from damage over time. Honor damage now scales based on distance to enemies. When in close range, you'll take 35% less honor damage, tapering off as you further away from the monsters. Fix the bug where damage over time was dealing thrice as much damage to honor as intended, and fix the bug where honor resistance was only applying 2/3 of that damage. This was confusing for us too. Oh, okay. Skitter golems no longer use basic attacks and instead just explode. Okay. Serpent clans burrow and ambush attack now has improved visual telegraphing and cannot be used from as far away. Volcanoes created by the first boss now last half the duration. Thank you, because the first time I did it, I didn't have enough damage to burst them, so they filled the entire arena. Endgame and monster balance. Generally, the balance in endgame maps was more punishing than intended. So it toned down the damage in a number of ways that disabled a certain on-death effect where telegraphing was not as clear as it would have been. Toned down the damage in a number of ways. Okay. One shot's going down. Maps no longer have additional elemental resistance penalties inherently applied at tier 6 and 11 or higher maps. It is now consistent across all of the endgame. Okay. Chaos damage now also scales less aggressively over the endgame. Critical strikes for monsters now deal 40% less bonus damage. Thank fuck for this. We lowered the baseline monster density of breaching count. I liked this though. I understand it's a bit obnoxious when you're not geared, but I liked it. Primarily by reducing the frequency of elite monsters appearing. Okay. Disable the volatile crystal modifier. We'll revisit this in the future, pending telegraphing improvements. Purple explosives created by the volatile plant modifiers on rare monsters now deal significantly less damage. That I believe was a chaos damage one that one-shot a lot of people. The Siphon's flash charges modifiers on monsters now drains 10 times less flash charge per second. Is unintentionally draining way too many charges. These changes should generally result in an endgame that is much more survivable than before and will continue to address problematic cases as they arise. There will still be a lot of stuff that I know for a fact is one-shotting people. But, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. At least. Character and item balance. We've made charm modifiers on belts substantially more common and now appear at much lower levels. Thank you. The of symbolism modifier now appears on all 23. I believe I have a symbolism. It doesn't say the name when I hover over, but it's +1 charm. Inscription is +2. It's 64. Okay. Electrocute is now 25% harder to build up. Okay. But the damage penalty has been removed from the support camp. So we're starting to start using electrocute on lightning mages now. Added a new lightning damage and electrocute cluster to the passive tree in between the ranger and monk sections. It is now more difficult to chain freeze enemies by reducing the amount of freeze buildup applied after a freeze has been applied. Well, this was needed, but not that it really mattered for the freeze mages though. The Hunter's Talisman notable now grants +1 charm slots. Small passive skills leading up to it now grants the stat it formerly gave. Charm Helper text has been updated to indicate that you cannot have more than 3 charm slots unlocked so that we can add more sources of it in the future. Skills and support gem balance. Since launch, we've unfortunately had to nerf a few skills that were far too overpowered. How do we define overpowered? Basically, it's a situation in which a certain skill is so powerful that players feel no other method of play in the game is viable. Generally speaking, we're trying to do this in a way that doesn't make a build bad, but we can make mistakes. Ideally, any truly meta-shifting changes will only happen at the same time as a content patch with a new league to play. But that doesn't mean we haven't been looking at underpowered skill and support gems. We got a number of changes planned which should improve some of these skills. The full list of changes will be in the patch notes, but here is a sample of what you can expect. Improvements to rolling slam and all shield skills in the mace section. I think this is very good. Various bow skills, especially the skills used to generate frenzy charges. Improvements to bone spells, chaos damage over time spells in the occult section. Improvements to various crossbow, especially those at higher tiers. Improvements to some of the underachieving quarterstaff abilities. Alongside all these skill gems improvements, we've also done a pass over the support gems. We've added 2 new supports and removed or lessened the penalty on many others. Notably, fire, lightning, cold exposure supports. Huh. Ooh. Added the tremors support gem, which can be used to give up the sorry, let me read that one more time. Added the tremor support gem, which can be used to give up to multiple more aftershocks skills with a damage penalty. Added bidding support, which can be used to give more damage to the command skills of supported minions. Okay. The fire exposure, lightning exposure, and cold exposure support gem no longer penalizes damage of supported skills. They now have a mana cost multiplier 120. I am using this right now on this character right here. It's this one. So the less damage is taken away, which means we could use it another. Okay. There are also some notable nerfs to a few of the remaining overachieving skills. Skeletal Arsonist Spirit cost now match the other 2 skeletal mages. This should result in a slight decrease in the number of arsonists at higher level. Oh shit. They're adding more spirit cost to skeletal arsonists. How will this impact the minion builds? It won't. It won't. It does not change anything, actually. All they do is reduce the damage output a little bit. That's actually all it does. A nerf to damage over time component on very high levels of Tornado and Vine Arrow. These were never intended to be dealing damage themselves, but more so act as a way for other skills to propagate damage. Okay. Magnetic Salvo can now only be used to your... Sorry. Magnetic Salvo can now only use your stuck lightning arrows as opposed to those created by your party members. As we wind down for the holiday season, we want to thank you all for our most successful launch so far. We could not have done it without all your support. A lot of our team will begin to take some much needed rest over the next few weeks, but we look forward to getting back in the new year refreshed and ready for exciting year of development in 2025. Happy holiday days, exiles. Okay. But I will say this. I genuinely think it's a good thing that they are balancing the reservation cost across the board for these things. Now, it is possible that we're going to start using snipers. I just want to point that out right now. It is possible that as a result of the arsonists, that we start using snipers. And that means we use the snipers for their damage, for their damage ability. It is possible. I'll have to verify this, but it is possible. Other than that, the snipers with their ability was the only thing that was able to compete with Arsonist. But Arsonist deals so much damage that we talked about this several times in our build guides. They do such an insane amount of damage that we never really needed that much damage. We could just focus on defenses. I will also say that the spirit reservation situation is drastically wild. So I'm not really sure, but I will definitely be playing around with some skeleton snipers and get a feeling for it and see if there's anything we want to change to it. But that's really it. Other than that, I'm actually feeling pretty good about the situation. I think that they're taking some steps in the right direction. especially with the one-shot situation and the chaos and crit situation as well. And the chaos specifically is terrible in the higher end game. So this is very exciting. Anyways, that's the patch notes. And right now, I don't think we're going to change anything. All the Arsonist builds will still perform as expected. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Till then, stay safe. Keep rocking.